So, how many real solutions does this equation have? So I'm going to solve this out, and then we're going to look for something that will help us do this more quickly. So how many real solutions? So I'm going to solve this using the quadratic equation. So subtract 10 from both sides. So minus 5, so the quadratic formula, minus 5x squared plus 12x minus 10 equals 0. Now it is a quadratic equation, so I can apply the quadratic formula. A is negative 5, B is 12, C is negative 10, minus B plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times negative 5a times c negative 10 all over 2 times my a value is equal to x. So simplifying this, I get minus 12 plus and minus the square root of 144 minus 200 all over negative 10. And now if I solve further, I know I'd have a negative 56 under the square root, which would make me think I would have no real solutions. So you notice I did a bunch of stuff, but really when it came down to it, a negative under the square root, a negative discriminant value, gives me no solutions. So if discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, is less than 0, then no solutions. Let's see what this next one tells me. So, get 0 on one side, 3x squared minus 18x plus 27 equals 0. And I could just start going from here, but I notice that 3 goes into all of them. And if I divide 0 by 3, I still get 0. So, divide everything by 3. X squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. And in fact, I know I can factor this. But I'm going to use quadratic instead just to show you something. So a is 1, b negative 6, c is 9. So minus b, which is positive 6, plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a is equal to x. So that's 6 plus and minus the square root of 36 minus 36 all over 2. Well, I know 36 minus 36 is 0, and the square root of 0 is 0, so I end up with 6 plus and minus 0 over 2. Plus and minus 0 is the same regardless of whether I'm adding 0 or subtracting 0, so this will give me 3 as an answer, which is one solution. So notice the discriminant was 0. So if the discriminant is equal to 0, then one real solution. You might be able to guess on this next one, but let's do it anyway. Minus 2x squared minus 8x plus 20 equals 0 by adding 20 to both sides. So now a is minus 2. Actually, I'm going to divide everything by 2, by negative 2. So x squared plus 4x minus 10 equals 0. So a is 1, b is 4, c negative 10, minus b plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a is equal to x. So this gives me minus 4 plus and minus the square root of 16 plus 40 all over 2, which simplifies to minus 4 plus and minus the square root of 56 over 2. The biggest perfect square that I know that goes into perfect to 56 is let's see, 4 certainly goes in. I believe 4 is the biggest one. So this could be rewritten as minus 4 plus and minus 2 root 14 over 2. So I can divide each term by 2 now and get minus 2 plus and minus square root of 14. So you notice there's two solutions there. So if the discriminant is greater than 0, then two solutions. So in that problem we hopefully discovered, that the discriminant decides how many solutions we have. If it's less than 0, we don't have any solutions. If it's equal to 0, then we're taking the square root of 0 and adding it and subtracting it, which means I'm not getting different answers, so I only get one solution. And in fact, this scenario has the vertex right on the x-axis. That's what a solution is in this case. It's a place where it crosses the x-axis. So in the first problem, it'll never cross the x-axis either because it starts below and goes further below, or starts above, goes further above. If there's one real solution, the vertex is on the axis and it either goes down or up the parabola, and if it's greater than 0, that means it passes through the x-axis twice. Could be going up or down.